How much money are you on track to make in 2024?
80 to 100K. I feel amazing. I'm relieved from just like working for other people. I would go home and just feel worn out, and nobody deserves to feel that way. Take that risk to get out there and start your loan signing business, and don't give up because it is so much better on the other side.
Another episode of On the Road, but now we're in Denver, Colorado with signing agent Brett and signing service owner Brett. How you doing today, man?
I'm doing amazing. So
Uh,
happy to be here with you, Mark.
so excited. Your story is as inspirational as anybody's story. Let's inspire right out of the gate, man. How much money are you on track to make in 2024?
80 to 100K.
80 to
Yep.
$100,000. When you say that out loud, how do you feel? What emotions go through your body?
I feel relieved. I feel amazing. I feel that I can breathe knowing that I have my entire life in the palm of my hands.
Let's talk through that. Use the word relieved. What are you relieved from?
I'm relieved from just like working for other people, slaving away, working the 9 to 5, I was working 50, 60 hours a week, being
Yeah.
ran into the ground.
It's like you found your purpose or something. I like that word relieved. No one's used that. And so I decided to dig deep. So, I mean, look, you beat me to the punch. Let's inspire people. So let's just start off with what I think is also inspiring. I don't want to steal your thunder, but you walked away from $100,000 a year job to start this business. You weren't like some of my students that were, down and out, had no income, or quote unquote broke. Like you were far from broke. You're living in Denver making six figures. A lot of people would call that living the dream. But take us back to that moment to where you made the drastic decision to walk away and then walk into a business that frankly hasn't really scaled until last year.
I was working for a company as an account manager for 4+ years. And as we know, 50, 60 hours a week. And, when you have bosses that make you feel less than, and just that you aren't worthy or you're not doing enough, and you feel like you're giving your all and everything's being taken away from you. For me, I have always had such like a lighthearted energy, and that was going away. So at some point, you've got to look at yourself in the mirror and be like, what am I doing? I was going in with anxiety, like, am I going to get a call? Am I going to be, talked down to today? Like, oh, you're not doing this, or you're getting paid X, Y, and Z, so you need to be doing more. So I just felt drained. I felt sad, and I would go home and just feel worn out, and just felt like I was just in the dirt, in the ground,
Mm.
and nobody deserves to feel that way.
How did we get to the point of like, I got to make a change for my own mental health?
I think that there comes a point, a breaking point, whenever you are so low, you realize something needs a change.
Mm.
And fortunately, I came across you, Mark, and I saw the opportunity to take control of my life. And I was like, you know what? I'm making this decision. I'm leaving this bad energy behind. I'm picking myself up and taking control of my life. That was my breaking point. So my breaking point was being so low in the ground and coming across you and LSS.
All I hear is just so much strength because you had every reason not to see the opportunity, right? I tell every student that when opportunity knocks, you have to open that door. And you chose to open it because a lot of people don't, right? There's people who might be watching this video right now, hearing your story, and still not going to make that decision. So, if someone's in that moment right now, what would you say to them to inspire them to find the strength?
You really have to dive deep and realize that you have so much power within you and so much control of your life. And when we're working those 9 to 5s and feeling anxious and going in, we feel like we don't have that power anymore. And you do have that power. In those moments when you're feeling low or you feel like you can't get out of it, you can, because we have full control over our lives. And no matter how low you feel, you can always get back up to that higher state.
We do. Like, no matter how down we are, we have the decision. We can stay down or get back up. You made a decision to get back up when no one would have blamed you for sticking in that 9 to 5 or 6 to 6, whatever you want to call it, because you're making $100,000 a year. What gets lost a lot of times in these on the roads is how much money you make. This business allows you to get control back. It allows you to make life on your terms.
I completely agree. I mean, money at the end of the day, yes, it gives us freedom to live our lives, do what we are meant to do, but there is no amount of money that I can be offered to take away the freedom and my passion and my drive. And I felt like all of that was just gone.
Yeah. Well, I mean, first off, thank you for your vulnerability. I know it's not easy to share, some of these things we don't want to think about anymore, right? That you had anxiety and you were depressed because that was so long ago. But thank you, because I know it's going to help someone hear that they're not alone in this journey. But I think your journey is great. This is going to be your best year yet. You've been a student for 4 years, in the industry for 4 years. Tell people how much money you made year one in the business.
I made about $15,000.
And what I love about how that came off, man, is like you smiled ear to ear. There's a lot of pride in that. What made you realize that like this was a real business and had real opportunity?
Well, simply just go to Google and look up escrow offices around you. I guarantee you there are a ton. And in each office, there's about 5 to 6 escrow officers. And if that doesn't inspire you, then I don't know what
I
can.
love that. What you saw was opportunity.
Yes.
And the opportunity is what got you excited to keep pushing through this business, even though you quote unquote weren't burning the boat out. Here's what I think is even more inspirational about your journey, man, is I'm looking at my notes over here is, you came into the business during COVID, right? The COVID boom. There were people making $15,000 in a week during COVID, and you made $15,000 in by the end of your first year. And I
Hmm.
share that because you didn't get discouraged by other people's success. You still saw the opportunity. And what I say that for everybody is that's how successful people think. Successful people don't look at what others are accomplishing and saying, oh, I'm failing because I'm not there. What they say is like, oh, because they're making money, I know it's possible. I know the market size because I'm Googling escrow offices. I know so now it's just a matter of time before they all know my name.
Failure to me is just it's another reason to get up and get going.
Mm.
I've failed so many times in life that it's kind of built in me now to just keep going because there is a light at the end of the tunnel. You are going to fail. You are going to fall and you're going to learn to pick yourself back up. But I guarantee you, when you do, that you are going to do things bigger and better and learn from those
Well,
failures.
you made $15,000 your first year. How much money did you make in your second year?
I made about $28,000.
So you made $30,000 in a full calendar year.
Yeah.
There is many people. So now you did 15,000, obviously it wasn't a full year when you first started, but you did
No.
15,000, then you did 28,000. You are not
Yes.
burning down the barn. Why aren't you going back? Why aren't you saying, you know what, this business isn't for me. I'm going to go back to that 6-figure job because that I know for sure I'm going to make 100 grand a year. Talk through that because I think it's inspiring that you kept trudging forward to get to where you are today.
I would rather make no money at all than go back to feeling the way I felt before. And I was making money, but I would rather have full control over my life, my happiness, my spirit, my drive. When my friends see me, they even made comments of like, you're different, like your energy's lighter.
And there's
No,
no amount of money that is
none.
worth that. Wow, I just think that's amazing, man. And I hope everyone's hearing this. And because, again, a lot of people judge this business based on the money, not the happiness, not their freedom, not their light, to use your word. It's like they're like, I'm not making 80 grand, then it's a failure. But it's not if you can smile. It's not if you can get up and not feel anxiety. It's not if you can get up and build your own business and not somebody else's. And I mean, what I love about this interview, that you have a permanent smile on your face, bro. Like it's inspiring. I feel your energy. I feel your lust for life. And And I hope everyone deserves that. And I know what you said is no one deserves to feel like they used to be. And I think it's beautiful because $28,000 to some people be a failure, but it was a massive success because you had a smile on your face. And that's what I want to flip upside down with this conversation.
It was better than the last year.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
progress.
Let's go to your third year. So last year, how much money did you make?
I made $60,000.
So 15, 30, 60. Like you see the growth here. And
Yes.
so proud of you, man. And proud of you because you were just focused on your journey. I'm proud of you because you were able to root other people on, but still stayed focused on what your journey is. Why are you having your best year when interest rates are higher and everyone's like, oh my gosh, no one's doing any loans, mortgages. Why did you crush it then?
Because I didn't stop growing clients. I actually, in the year prior, lost a huge client because they were laying off escrow officers. I lost about 8 escrow officers I worked with, and I still scaled the business because I just was not going to accept sinking. I'm a definite swimmer,
Yeah.
sink or swim, and you gotta swim. So during that time, I kind of diverted and I created my signing service and started obtaining business and growing in different ways within the
Yeah. I mean,
industry.
I hope everyone's hearing this. Highest interest rates in 10 years.
Mhm.
Not only are you doing your most revenue, you actually started a signing service in the middle of 8% interest rates. Why did you scale so big in 2023?
I had to put food on the table. I had to pay for the roof over my head. I wanted to see my family more out in San Diego and Arizona, and I couldn't do that if, I wasn't marketing or making money. So I had the drive for, earning more business because I have the passion, for my family and life. And like I said, to put a roof over my head.
If a signing agent tells you it's slow, what would you say to them right now?
It is not slow because there are endless opportunities to get business. There, like I said, go on Google. You'll see how many escrow offices are around you in different states, different counties. The business is endless. If you walk in and get turned down from one office, I guarantee you can walk in to another office and not get turned down.
No, I mean, what I just heard was someone who had truly understands what an abundance mindset is that business is literally endless. Not because it's
Yeah.
a woo woo woo, because like literally just Google escrow officers, Google real estate agents, Google lenders near me, and you'll see all the red dots on your Google map. And so again, I want people to hear that you know, this business is decided by the effort you make and nothing more.
Effort is everything. If you put effort in your relationships, in your life, in your business, they're going to flourish. So that is, I feel like, the key to everything.
I mean, you're now in midst of your best year after 4 years. Signing service is getting off the ground. We're hitting like the gas. And so I just want people to hear the story of like, it took 4 years to get here, three and a half. And you were the true definition of slow as a speed and clapping for everybody else, but staying focused on your journey. And what you're really an inspiration for is choosing your happiness over everything. It has to do about money. It has to do
Mm-mm.
about that fire that's in all of us. And when you saw that going out, you made a decision. I'm not going to let this flame go out all the way because I'm going to get back up and really build this. So I'm proud of you, man. It's so cool to hear your story in depth like this. What's the one piece of advice you can give me to grow my business? What would that piece of advice be to somebody?
Take that risk to get out there and start your loan signing business. Take the risk to walk into that escrow office and market directly.
I think there is a myth that all successful signing agents don't get nervous when they market, especially
Oof.
the first time. Take us through so people realize they're not alone if they're stumbling over the words or sweating under their armpits or like about to throw up before they walk into the building. Like, take us through that so they really know what you mean by take a risk.
I think I did throw up. I'm just kidding. I didn't. But so much anxiety. I'm sitting in my car, sitting there like, I can't do this. I can't do this. But you know what? Like, we always have those thoughts in our heads telling us, no, 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 no. And I walked into the title office, introduced myself. I had a script. totally forgot it, but I pulled it off and I landed that client.
Yeah.
So it was kind of crazy. Um, but I think if you just realize that they don't know it's your first time walking into an office, they'll never know that. Some people go into, places and market and scared to take the risk, thinking like, oh, they're going to know that I've never done this before. They don't know that. And I think going in with that mindset is what really helped me.
Nobody knows you're brand new. It's your own imposter syndrome, insecurity, whatever word I'm looking for, that makes you feel like they know, but they don't know. And so that's another
No,
like kind of sub piece of advice to your bigger piece of advice is don't forget that they don't know you're brand new. It only because you know doesn't mean they know. So stop walking, put your shoulders back, have a conversation, and market your business. What are other examples of you taking a risk in this business that has paid off? Talk people through that because I think the biggest risk you took was walking away from a six-figure job only to make $28,000. That had to hurt financially, but it was
Mhm.
still a risk that had to be made because you weren't going back to that mental place you were. Talk about that risk.
That risk was just monumental for me. Because when you're in that place, when you're in that state of mind, you never want to be in that place again. So it didn't matter, that I made 28,000 the next calendar year after making six figures because I never wanted to feel that way ever again. So as we've touched like earlier, that there's just no amount of money that can make you feel that way. And if somebody's out there feeling that way, that's why I say take a risk because you are going to feel so much better. You're going to have so much more freedom, so much more time with your family, so much more lust for life than what you did before. And I can guarantee it. And you're not going to do that without taking that risk.
I loved sharing that part of your journey, man, because it is not about the money for you. 15,000, 28,000, 60,000. What's worth $1 million that is that smile on your face and the energy you have. And I think too many people only judge this business off of the money and we got to stop. This business
Yeah.
is about freedom, about, getting your confidence back, about knowing that you deserve the success you're working towards. And to me, that's what your story is about is someone who realized I was worth way more than being in this dark place. So again, dude, so proud of you. Thank you for sharing the story. You're 4 year into the business, Brett. If you couldn't whisper in the year of signing agent Brett, year one, and you want to give young Brett, signing agent Brett, some advice to scale what you have a little bit quicker, what would you whisper to him to maybe help accelerate that journey a little bit?
I would probably tell 4 years ago, Brett, use your time more wisely
Mm,
and don't procrastinate.
mm.
I think I got used to when I left making that kind of money. I just got into a state of mind like I can breathe, I can live my own life again. But I would have scaled a lot quicker if I used my time more properly. And I
Oh,
wish I would have done that.
man. So let's just talk about using your time more effectively before we get into procrastination. I think classic new entrepreneur is let's do busy work, not productive work. Let's work on our website. Let's work on our business cards. I need to go get a business account. I got to go get a business license. I got to go get the perfect duffel bag. Then I put my mail bag, put my docs in. It's like things that move the needle, but just not dramatically.
Yeah, so utilizing, like I said, my time more properly, whether it was studying documents more, learning my craft more, working on pitching better when I walked into offices, going into more offices,
Yes.
sending more
Yeah.
emails.
Yeah. All the big stuff. Again, and
Yes.
I hope everybody heard what he just said. What I love is the vulnerability and like I should have practiced my pitch more. Right. I think a lot of us just kind of we will wonder why you're nervous is because you haven't really done the pitch 100 times before you walked into that first appointment, right? Talk to your brother, sister, aunt, uncle, friend, to get those reps in. And I love your vulnerability because if you can whisper in Brett's ear 4 years ago, be like, hey, Start practicing on that script a little bit more, you know? And
Yeah.
so I hope everybody heard that, especially new signing agents. He's telling you what he wished you would have done differently so you can scale quicker. And so thank you for sharing your experience with everybody watching. Let's unpack that word procrastination if we can.
Oof.
Yes, I see a sigh coming out of you.
Quite the word.
What are some tips that you started to implement to help with this procrastination?
The biggest thing for me was getting out
Mm.
of my home surroundings. I think a lot of us, when we're running our own business, we get stuck in, our space, and that gets us comfortable. Step out of your comfort zone and get out and go to a library, get a study room, make those phone calls there, send those emails there, go to a coffee shop. That's what was really a game changer for me to kind of kick procrastination.
When you treated this business, and it's going to sound a little bit counterintuitive, but when you start treating this business like a job, it started scaling. Like, I'm going to go into the office from 10 to 12. I'm in the office 10 to 12, so I got to work. When you're at home, it's tough to kind of drop into that office environment, drop into that, like, oh, I have my cat, my dog. Oh, I can just go make an extra cup of coffee. Oh, why don't I go run down and do my errand? Oh, what's that piece of mail on the counter? You have a lot of easy distractions, but when you treat this business almost like a job and drop in. And I love your vulnerability. Some people can drop into their home office like that. You couldn't. And that's okay. But it's
Mhm.
admitting where we're weak and making those improvements and said, look, I'm going to go down to the library, down to the coffee shop. I'm going to remove those distractions. And what I love you just said is that this really got a hold of you in year 3, and year 3 and 4 are your biggest years. And so, again, I love your intentionality with your time, and you almost created a job environment because you knew you couldn't reach that working from home. And there's a lot of honesty with yourself.
It's important. And I feel like a lot of people out there can relate because, when you're starting this, you're like, I don't know what to do. I don't know where to go. And when you are in your, home space, some people work really well with it. I do not.
Yeah,
So once that clicked in my brain to get out
yeah.
and do it, it was honestly game changing, and it felt better too. Like you feel better getting out,
Well, the crazy part is, like, you probably can get done more in 4 hours in an office distraction free than 8 hours in your own house. And I don't think people put that together. And that's what you said, more efficient with your time. And that's
Work
a classic.
smarter, not harder.
That's exactly right, man. So, man, what an unbelievable conversation. Let's plug your signing service. I have it written down here, Signature USA. Did I say that correctly?
Signatures USA.
Let's go. And of
That's
course, he
us.
hires loan signing system students first and foremost. Let's go.
Yep.
If you could leave anybody, I'm gonna give you the last words to inspire them. What would you say to them to encourage them? Don't quit, keep going. I promise you there's success on the net and on the other side. This, you have the last words.
Enjoy the journey. Life is too short to go through these moments, even if they're hard, to not enjoy it. And
Mm,
for those out there that, need that extra driver, they don't have it. You do have it. You're going to look back and be like, this was a blink of an eye. This
mm,
was a blip of a moment in time in my life where you felt like it was forever, and it's going to pass, and you're going to move forward, and don't give up because it is so much
man.
better on the other side.
I think what happens a lot of times to students who are trying to create six-figure businesses their first year, they're not enjoying it. They end up getting so stressed out because trying to build this to 6 figures is more important than anything else, that they lose the enjoyment. And the moment you lose the enjoyment, that's when people, quote unquote, get burnt out. That's when you quit. That's when you get discouraged. But it's taken you 4 years to get this point, but you've enjoyed every step of the way. So that within itself has allowed you to kind of stay paced, stay on the journey. And I love that. Enjoy the journey. Too many of us don't. It's all about, I want to make 10 figures, $10,000 a month. I want to make this. And they almost lose sight of, like, why they started a business to begin with. That was the freedom. That was being your own boss. That was not asking anybody else for a vacation. That was, getting that confidence. And so I love that phrase. It's a perfect way to wrap up the conversation. Enjoy the journey.
So enjoy the journey because you will get to that million. But until then, that's what you got to do.
I love it. Well, my man, I appreciate you so much. Thanks for taking time out of your day. I know you have a signing service you're building and running, and this is the work day. So appreciate from you and entire Loan Signing System Nation. Thank you, dog. Let's go. Later.
Let's go.